years. That's how long you're about to spend at the next university or college that you choose to go to. So please choose wisely. But luckily, I'm here to give you 5 tips on how you can do that. Because trust me when I tell you, I really wish someone was there to tell me these tips when I was choosing my school. So let's just get right into it. So number 1, figure out what your specific end goal is in terms of your career that you want. For example, when I was applying to business schools, I was kind of deciding between accounting and finance, and I found specific jobs that I would be interested in, such as audit, for example, or working at a venture capital firm. And I looked at those and saw job openings and kind of looked at what criteria they needed for education. And then I used that to backtrack and figure out what schools would allow me to get that job. And I do understand that maybe you don't know what your specific job is that you want yet, but that is a really good way for you to kind of figure out what school or what path you want to lean towards. Number 2. So this one is actually something, surprisingly, that I didn't take into consideration, that I don't know why, but really look at what scholarships are available, because let me tell you, debt is real. Student loans are real and not very pretty. So that being said, what I did was I kind of stereotyped schools the way everyone did, and I was like, that school's not that great, so I'm not going to go to it. But that school ended up giving me a really good scholarship. It gave me a lot of opportunities that were similar to the program I ended up choosing. So there was literally no reason for me to not choose it, except for the fact of what other people thought, which don't care about, because it's your future. And I was working with people who went to that same school with the same opportunities as me, and they had way less debt than I have. So please don't be me, is my main tip basically. And to really look at the scholarships that you have available, because those are really going to help you in the long run and just kind of not be such a burden, you know? Number 3. Basically, this one is something that only specific schools are going to offer you, which are a co-op program integrated into it or an internship program. And I found that this actually is one of my favorite parts of my program, and one of the main reasons I chose it, and I'm really happy about it, because not only do I get to do school and I get to study, but number 1, I get a break from studying because I have co-op. So essentially I have 4 months of school, then 4 months of co-op, then 4 months of school. So I basically get a break, and during that break I get paid, and I get to actually go into the field and see if what I'm studying is actually applicable and if I like it. And it's definitely something that I would recommend everyone really to look at when they're applying to a school or when they're choosing a school, because having a co-op or internship program is really valuable, since universities or colleges usually have connections already in advance, and you're able to kind of find a job easier through a university school program or a college school program versus you finding one on your own outside of that. So definitely look into that when you're trying to decide. Number 4. This is for those of you that can't wait to leave your house and want to go as far away as you can, but you still rely on your parents to do a lot of things for you, like cooking and your laundry and everything else that you can think of. So if you're that person and you're thinking of going far away, kind of maybe reconsider, because as much as this may be hard to hear, you're going to actually miss your family when you leave. So luckily for me, I was only an hour away from my house, so on weekends I could come home, or on weekends my family could bring stuff up for me, which is very helpful when you're in school, because as much as you think you're going to be working out, you're going to be making smoothies, your breakfast, your dinner, your lunches, and doing your laundry, I don't know if you'll have time for all of that. You might if you're really good at time management, but I didn't have time for all that. So living an hour away from home was really good for me, whereas I knew some people who lived like maybe 5 hours away from home or even more, and they instantly regretted it because they realized how much more work it was going to be, and living that far away, it was kind of unnecessary. So please take that into consideration. But then again, this is a little different for everyone based off of how independent they really are. I just know that for me, I preferred living away from home, but not too far that I couldn't come home whenever I needed to. And my last tip, let's get into it. Number 5. So for this one, it's basically just talk to people who have experiences. And I know that that's what my channel is about as well, but if you know people, talk to them, because trust me, it helps a lot, especially if they have similar aspirations as you did and they're already in a school that maybe you want to go to, and you can kind of ask them pros and cons. And when I did that, it was super helpful because I was fortunate enough to have a lot of older, you know, cousins, friends, and siblings too, to ask them these questions that I had, and they would tell me, you know, pros and cons that they had, but sometimes their cons would actually be pros for me. And it's kind of just figuring out your preference that you want and looking at people's perspectives and putting it into your own after you hear their point of view. So that is definitely something that's super beneficial, and also just another reason why I made this channel, because if you don't have those people there for you, feel free to, you know, reach out to me or wait for some more videos, because I will have more with other people with other backgrounds in different types of programs and schools, so you can use their experience as well. Overall, I hope you love these 5 tips that I had for you on what I really think that you should be considering before you accept a university or a college that you really want to go to, because I think these are all important, and they're things that I wish that I did take into consideration a little bit more, or a little more seriously, when I accepted my school. But no matter what, I think your decision will be wonderful if you take these into consideration or you don't. And I hope you have a wonderful day and good luck, and I hope to see you soon too.